Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the opening of the Youth Dialogue hosted by the President of the 72nd Session of the United Nations General Assembly, Miroslav Lajcak. Today is a one-day event, but we hope that all of you will carry this discussion forward and turn it into action. We have an opening, 2 chats in the morning, and an open mic session in the afternoon, followed by a reception, which you are all invited to. So are you ready? Come on, everyone. Are you ready? Put your hands together and please welcome to the stage our host, His Excellency, Mr. Miroslav Lajcak.
Okay, hi, good morning. Good morning, Your Excellencies, colleagues, dear young participants. Welcome to the United Nations. Welcome to our Youth Dialogue. Here, I have employed in the United States. We want this to be an event when we make a step back and we listen to young people talking to each other, and we want to get inspired and to follow your lead and your advice. So even though I'm technically the boss here, right now I understand that I'm standing on your stage, and I will get out of your way as fast as I can, but first I would like to make 2 points to open our discussion today. And the point number 1 is, why do we need this dialogue? And the answer is very simple. We need it because United Nations is here for people, and United Nations is about people. If the United Nations is to meet the goals set for itself in the UN Charter, it needs to engage with people, it needs to bring people inside of this building, it needs to talk to people and reach out to people. And not just some people, not just people of certain profession, certain rank, or certain age, but all the people, and particularly the young people. And it makes sense because there are more young people on this planet than ever before. And young people are better educated than ever before, and they have better means of communication and interaction than ever before. And I'm not saying that UN is not engaging with young people. There are many forums, many interactions, many dialogues. But at the same time, I also have my personal experience from traveling to many countries and meeting with many young leaders and young activists. And I've heard from many of them that they still feel that they are excluded from decisions that are affecting their life, that they are not invited to the table where they are supposed to be. And way too often they have the feeling that when they speak, no one is listening. I'm not naive. I know we are not going to change it with this one event. But I hope there will be many more. And I also hope that we will have follow-up to this discussion outside of these walls, outside of the United Nations. So let's use this platform. Let's make sure it's interesting and it's useful for each and every one of you. My second point is about the themes, the topics of today's discussion. We want to focus on 3 in particular. First one is education. And speaking about education, it's not about numbers. It's rather about the access to education. It's about the quality of education. And we want to hear from you. What's your experience? How well the schools prepare you for challenges of today and even more for challenges of tomorrow? What's your piece of advice? How can we best deliver on SDG 4 on education? The second issue we want to discuss today is about employment. Everybody understands that the perspective to get a decent job is one of the most important things in people's life. And here again, we want to hear about your experience. How is it when you cannot get the job? Or when you cannot get the job you want? What about people who do get the job, but they still live in poverty? And what about young women on the job market? What should we do better to improve the prospects for people, for young people, to get better jobs in their lives? And the third issue is a very complex one. It's radicalization and the risk of extremism. we talk about it, but we still don't really get it, don't really grasp it. Because it's so complex, but probably also because we don't talk enough to the people who have been affected by this. And we know that the motivations are different. There are some people who were introduced to radical movements by friends, but there are some others who were actively searching on the internet about the ways to get there. There are some people who are unemployed and frustrated, but there are also some people with good education and excellent jobs. So there are no simple answers, there is no simple solutions. But we would like to get your advice, how to deal with this phenomena. What can we do about it? So please open up and speak freely and openly, because that's the purpose of today's dialogue. And before I finish, I want to address 2-3 housekeeping issues. First of all, we are web streaming live this event, so for those who could not make it into this room today, to be present and to follow our discussions, you can actively contribute to it, you can tweet, you can post. Please use the hashtag Youth72. Second, my team and I will be following your discussions, and we'll note down the most important, most useful ideas and suggestions, and by the end of today's event we will prepare some sort of toolkit that you can take with you back home, back to your communities, and work with it in the future. And the most important thing is the dialogue. I would like to discourage you from reading statements. We have enough of it at the United Nations. Please open up, speak freely, be frank, be open, and have fun. So I wish you a very enjoyable and useful youth dialogue today. Thank you very much for being with us.
Our next speaker's incredible story took her from refugee camps to runway shows. This model and DJ is using her platform to boost learning opportunities in South Sudan through her nonprofit, Stand for Education. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Marie Malek, who will talk to us about access to education with a special focus on girls and peace building in her country.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and all the amazing energies in here. I am very honored to be here and grateful. My mother and father wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer, but I failed them and became an artist. And so now I am a model, a DJ, and an actress. And through that, I have found the privilege to use my platform versus letting my platform use me. I escaped the war in South Sudan with my family. We left from the village in Wau, where I was born during the Second Civil War. And from there, we went to Egypt. My mother's goal was for us, her daughters, to get a better education and a better life and an opportunity for us to come back and never forget where we come from so that we can be the change in our country and to bring enlightenment and hope to all the people we have left back home and to the young girls who are fighting for their rights until today. When we were in Egypt, we stayed as refugees for 4 years before we were granted asylum and sponsored into the USA. And then we were sponsored, and we came to Newark, New Jersey. I was thrilled. Never has anybody been so thrilled to be in Newark, New Jersey. But that was the opportunity that I needed to be here today. If I didn't get that opportunity, I will not be in front of you. Then I got discovered to model. And I said, I must use this time to make a change, to speak on behalf of my sisters and brothers back home. South Sudan is the youngest country in the world. 64% of South Sudan are women. 50% are under the age of 18 years old. 80% of South Sudan is unable to read or write. Now, you do the math, what needs to be done. Education. Education means life. It means opportunity. It means a moment of enlightenment. So I was inspired to create the nonprofit Stand for Education, where we are dedicated to empower underprivileged children and women and bring them hope and opportunity and life. Our programs focus on peace building and advocacy. This means we're building different types of education for the communities so that we can resolve conflict, so that we are able to use the ways that we know and our roots and respect who we are and what we are rooted in and continue to build and rebuild our country. Stands for Education's focus is on girls. Access to education is crucial, especially during crisis. Many of the challenges I face with advocating and raising funds and awareness for Stand for Education is the fact that people think South Sudan is going through war and that there is no hope. But guess what? I'm here and there is hope. And there are many children and women who are so potentially strong and ready to make change, but they need your support, your investment, and to look at them just like yourselves. They are human beings, and we are human beings on this planet. Education provides girls with more opportunities for life, especially in areas of the world where child marriages, early motherhood, and poverty is prevalent. The people of South Sudan, the community, and the whole world, children, youth, adults, need to be strengthened, especially in war-affected areas, and empowered through education to know what to do to avoid conflicts, avoiding them escalating when they do start, how to endure the conflicts with strength and wisdom, and how to calm them down. And this we include by providing quality education for girls, quality education for all children, life skills program, teachers training and investment, microfinance, sports, arts, theater, and youth leadership. My mom taught me the value of education. And I believe the power of awareness and education can lead to improved living and sustainable growth for the younger generation and for everyone in this world. For this reason, we collectively, we as the people of this earth, of this planet, we collectively can create a worldwide structure and work together where every child and woman living in poverty and war-affected and conflict areas to be able to access education and economic opportunities to build a peaceful and a prosperous and an empowered life. With that said, I want to leave you with an African proverb that I always live by. If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, we go together. Thank you.